my question is about Bucha. There are pictures, there's eyewitness evidence. What are you saying about how this happened? And you did show us pictures of 2 pregnant women who were fake photos, and we saw one of them give birth and we saw the other one die. Why do you believe that the pictures and the story you're getting right now and telling us are true about Bucha?
I just saw a footage today on the Russian television of the lady that gave birth in Mariupol, and she admitted that that was a fake. She's a Ukrainian blogger named Mariana, I forgot her surname. She admitted that was a fake, that she was made to make that footage. Now, if you look carefully at what you see in Bucha, about the corpses that lie on the streets, that were never existing before the Russian troops arrived, before they left, and suddenly they appear on the streets, lying on the road, one by one, right and left. Some of them are moving, some of them are showing the signs of life. You cannot escape from an understanding that that is a stage, that is a stage, that is a fake, that this is a provocation, because as I said, and you know it perfectly well, that besides the warfare, we have an information war, and the information war is raging, and we have evidence that that was premeditated, that was arranged by the Ukrainian information warfare machine, so to say.
And that, therefore, you're blaming the Ukrainians for actually putting these bodies there?
One thing you cannot deny is that Ukrainians are using people as a human shield when they hide behind them in buildings, in what do you call it? In residential buildings, which they use to call fire on themselves.
The second woman who was pregnant, by the way, did die.
What?
The second woman in that photo died, and the baby died. So,
if that is the case, I'm sorry for her. I really am. You may believe me.
But part of the question is then the bigger picture. Martin Griffiths just came from Moscow. Is there no resolution to the? Is there any possibility of a ceasefire?
And the question is, from which hands she died, by the way, because they claimed that it was the Russian airstrike, while the evidence shows that the building doesn't show the evidence of the airstrike, that it was an explosion. But in any case, on Martin Griffiths, on the resolution, we offered a resolution last week, which they rejected. They said no, because Russia as an aggressor cannot offer anything. We are trying to get people out of cities and provide them with free evacuation, which they also deny. They say no, Ukrainians can only leave to the West. They cannot leave to Russia. They have no right to do so, despite the fact that 500,000 Ukrainians are already in Russia. And believe me, there is no xenophobia to Ukrainians in Russia, and it has never been. Despite what is happening with Russians around the world today, perhaps last year. But let's be frank, and I'm grateful to the Americans that they are not up to that. But what is happening in Europe, how they treat Russians only because they have Russian passports, that is incredible. That is unbelievable. I leave aside the issue of sanctions, which which are beyond any understanding. But the way they are treating the people in Europe, the Russians, is something that goes beyond any understanding.
Well, since you brought it up, why?
Sherwin, please.
Thank you, Ambassador, for doing this. Just two questions. Would Russia, for example, welcome an independent investigation? You talk about the misinformation wars, the fog of war. It's difficult to understand who's giving you facts and who's not, right? So would you agree to an independent mechanism to investigate the atrocities that we both can agree are happening in Ukraine? And then a second part, sir. What is so egregious about the 24-hour delay? To help us understand, this meeting that you requested for today is happening tomorrow. So what is so outrageous about this delay?
Look, the question is who is doing the so-called independent investigation. We've seen lots of independent investigations which were not independent at all because they are politically motivated, biased, etc., etc., etc. What about the meeting? That is absolutely clear. What the aim and the idea is about it is not to let us to present our views and to go ahead with their own interpretation of the situation. But I'm afraid for them that by tomorrow many things will come to surface which they wouldn't like to hear. So perhaps they lost time not to having meetings today and postponing it till tomorrow's. Thirdly, look, I do not recall, not just in my memory here, but in the procedure and tradition and rules of the Security Council, that the presidency would deny a country a meeting whenever it wants to, because the council should meet, if that's an emergency meeting, in 3 hours after the announcement. And I've been in these situations myself many times over. I heard your question today that you asked Barbara. I listened to the interview, which she never answered. She never answered. I mean, we've been accused of atrocities. We are being accused of not observing the rules of war, etc. You asked about Raqqa and Mosul. What did she answer? She just evaded. She went sideways. Anyway, let's see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow you will hear more from us. I promise that I'll be more factual, even more factual than today. Thank you very much.